I bet you didn't know, warrior, that a security threat to our country is human trafficking. It's a national security threat. Remember, we're calling it slavery, the enslavement of people. Homeland Security just put out a report, and I want to share that with you because I've been talking about it, this specifically, for about a year, and I don't see a lot of people even talking about it. And I'm going to tell you why there's such an important piece in this study. And so many people that I spoke to, I want to say over the last 6-8 months, would say, I never heard that fact. These are people working in this field of solving, ending, disrupting trafficking, slavery. So let me tell you what the national security threat is. It's a pervasive and insidious crime, this trafficking, this slavery. And it poses, and this is coming directly from Homeland Security. They just put this out. It is posing a profound and escalating threat to the national security of the United States. As we look forward in 2025, this illicit activity not only undermines law and order, but also impacts economic stability. This is the important part. Threatens public health, not talking enough about that, and erodes the very fabric of social institutions. Listen up. Previously, both nonprofit organizations and government bodies estimated the global revenue from human trafficking at around $150 billion annually. However, a recent 2024 report from Nasdaq revealed that human trafficking generated an astonishing $346.7 billion in illicit cash flow in 2023. Now that is what I was talking about. Most websites, most people will automatically, like Rote, just say, human trafficking, $150 billion annual. No, and I would say there is a new figure out from Nasdaq, $346.7 billion. Now, if it's $346.7, for argument's sake, let's round it up to $350 billion. You know the number's higher. Whatever we know, we can all agree the numbers are always higher. But the cash flow, can you imagine? So how are we going to get in there and disrupt this whole channel of cash flow? That is something we don't talk about, right? The financial end of, yes, we talk about rescuing, we talk about education, we talk about raising awareness. But remember, when people say to me, why is this happening? And I say, well, it's about money. There's lots of money to be made. So why not? Not that any of this is easy. It sounds very easy. Disrupt. That's where you go to begin to stop this, end this, curtail this, intervene, is interrupt the cash flow. Despite efforts to combat this crime, we have barely scratched the surface. Understanding the multifaceted dimensions of human trafficking's impact on national security is imperative for shaping effective countermeasures. Now, this Homeland Security report, and I'll be posting the link in this video, the body of this video, says corruption and erosion of governmental legitimacy in foreign aid recipient countries. And that's a whole big long, and that's something I want you to look at, because human trafficking has infiltrated and corrupted public institutions in developing countries. You know, these countries we're giving billions and billions of dollars to, many of which are significant recipients of U.S. foreign aid and major producers of trafficking victims. So this country is financing, right? There's no transparency. Let's see where the money's actually going, trickling into. We're giving monies to these foreign countries, and at the same time, a lot of organizations here in the States are working specifically, not on America, on helping foreign trafficking slavery victims. And it's just a vicious circle of we're complicit in financing this foreign aid into these foreign countries and producing this additional slavery. So the impact on border security also. Trafficking networks frequently exploit porous borders and weaknesses in immigration control systems. Well, we've all seen that over the last several years. And you know what? Enough's enough. I'm going to also say, and we've heard this forever, again, not covered enough, in the media, people talking about it, links to organized crime and terrorism. This is why when we talk about trafficking as a national security threat, human trafficking generates substantial profits for criminal networks, including terrorist organizations. Remember, Tren de Aragua, that vicious, violent Venezuelan gang, they were allowed to come here. Their number one business is basically trafficking, and that can be trafficking definitely of humans, because that's a lot easier to do than drugs and weapons, but they're doing it all. They got the whole trio going on there. So we need strategic policy to curb this, to stop this, and to adopt a full-on community engagement with the government. So many people working on trafficking they're here, they're there. And I keep saying with the warriors, let's all come together. There's power in numbers. What you know, I don't know. What I know, you don't know. And we will begin to intervene. But in summary, I have to share with you, as trafficking evolves, so must the way we think about it, our strategies, how we're going to talk about it, how we're going to be realistic about it. Because you may have a child, and she or he may sleep in their own bed at night, but they are being trafficked after school. There's so many. I like to say to you, it's a big wheel with a lot of spokes, and all of these spokes are a different piece of the puzzle that makes the wheel go around, equals human slavery. So if we start to come together, which I'll be preaching in Washington at my first Senate roundtable I'll be attending in the near future, that we will enhance effectiveness of our national security. I'm taking a national security approach because also all of this trafficking is a tremendous burden on our healthcare system. And we don't talk about that enough. It's costing our healthcare, our taxpayers, billions and billions of dollars a year. That could be going into, I don't know, the education system where our kids across the board, every state, are failing in math and reading. So if we have this kind of discussion that I'm telling you about right now, it will indeed enable us. If we start speaking up, it is a national security threat. I think more people will listen. We'll get more warriors on board. They will understand that this human trafficking slavery is happening. No one is exempt. In every single town, city, and rural area across America. Happening at your dining table, happening at your kitchen table, happening in your child's bedroom. I'll leave you with a tip. No devices in bedrooms at night. Children need their rest. Children are addicted. We have plenty of algorithms for that with swiping, as are adults, but we're talking about kids right now. They need to be rested, not swiping. We live in this swipe society, I like to call it. Lead by example. No phones in the bedrooms at night. And you know what? If we stick together, and I'll do my part, whether I go to my state capital, Albany, Washington, D.C., with these issues of national security that easily can be understood by everybody, and the cost, remember, money talks. When people hear about money or the money being spent that they're not getting for their communities or in their homes, they begin to listen. So let's all take that direction. Community does indeed create change. You can always write to me, Lynn at lynswarriors.org. Follow along, subscribe to the channel, and make sure each and every day when you wake up, you go out and be a warrior.